I wouldn't consider myself to be an artist. And that sounds weird coming from the guy who did the entire art for the game, but it's kind of true in that regard. I am, through my background at least, I'm not exactly an artist. I'm actually a game designer. I did the art for the game for reasons, and I'll explain that, but I don't think I'd consider myself an artist. The reason I kind of did the art kind of has to go back into the team we had. The team we had was, of course, just three people, which was me, Lance, and Tejas. And all three of us are, let's just be honest here, all three of us are good friends, and we kind of came together and said, okay, let's make a game here. Um, and we basically decided our roles. So Tejas and Lance took programming, Lance did the music, I chose to do the design, but then there were a few things that were lacking. Like for example, like I said earlier, Lance also did the music. He was also the programmer on the project. I picked up like the art of it all because I'm the artist on the project apparently. But yeah, this I generally won't consider myself an artist, but I still did the art for this game. I guess you could call me an artist. Now the only reason I didn't really get an artist to do it was I have friends who do art, but they weren't really available to do this project because of prior commitments. And yeah, that was the reason I was kind of stuck doing it. No, this isn't my first time doing pixel art. Now, pixel art has gotten rather famous on the internet now, and it should be. It's a fairly easy, cheap way to do art, at least in my opinion, than maybe if you'd go for like 3D graphics or something, because that takes lot longer and a lot more people to do. Pixel art, on the other hand, looks pretty clean, small, nice. People like it apparently because I think, let's just be honest, I really like pixel art. I think a lot of people do too. Um, and the reason I kind of did pixel art in this one was I think that was the only art I could get away with without being called out on having bad art. But yeah, this isn't my first time doing pixel art. I did pixel art before this for a game, and it's still yet unreleased. It was like a small game we made for Ludum Dare, which is like a 3-day game jam thing. Um, that will be released at some point. It needs some bug fixing, but I did pixel art for that, and I've done smaller pixel art and stuff before that, just for the heck of it. And I've been doing this for I think like 4 years at this point, which is a lot. But I didn't really go with a single-minded focus on just doing art during that time. I just kind of was on again, off again kind of a thing, just wanting to learn, but never really pursued it full on. So it took me a long time, but yeah, uh, this wasn't my first project doing pixel art. Hopefully, won't be the last either. The difference in the art of this game and the art that I did for previous stuff and the art I did in general using the pixel graphic method was I think this one came a lot better. This one came out a lot better because with this project I kind of wanted to push my boundaries as an artist as well because I didn't want this game to suffer because the art wasn't quite up to par and just the art we could come up with. I really wanted this game to be a little bit more professional looking, a little bit better looking than the things I'd done previously. So with this game, what I did was I kind of went out of my way to kind of understand how certain pixel art techniques are done, certain dithering techniques, lighting techniques, bumping, basically kind of how to make your pixels look better with lesser, I guess. I learned a lot of it. I practiced quite a bit, and with this, I think I hope it shows because compared to my other older projects, I think this looks leaps and bounds ahead of that, and I'm glad that I took my time to kind of learn it a bit better before approaching this. The tools I used for this, there's a very particular tool for pixel art, and I would highly recommend it to people if they want to go ahead and learn pixel art. And it's this little software called Pixel, Pyxel. It's like this $10 software, but it's perhaps the best pixel editing software you can kind of get out there. It does a job very, very well. It's very simple, clean. You can do a lot of things in it. It's still, I think, in beta, which is why the price is fairly low. So maybe you can go and grab it. I really did enjoy it. I think that's the only one I used. Now, prior to this, I used to use Photoshop, which I think I can still work with. It just, you have to do certain things to get to a point where you'd be able to do pixel art. And, Photoshop isn't exactly singularly focused on just making pixel art as the other tool I mentioned does. So, yeah, that's really the only tool I used, which was Pixel for this project. I might have used a bit of Photoshop for resizing or something, but that's really it. Other than that, that software is pretty much complete. What advice would I give to aspiring pixel artist? I don't think I should, but because I'm very new to this. I have been doing this for 3-4 years now, but like I said, I've never really ran towards it with full focus in my head because I'm not exactly an artist in the game developing sense. I'm a designer. I focus on systems and architecture and levels, things like that. So my best advice, at least considering art from my limited understanding, so definitely take a grain of salt with this, is basically go out and see how others do it. Don't be afraid to learn. Look at how certain things and techniques and dithering and texturing and all of the good stuff is done, and try to do it yourself. Go out, practice, and don't go out there expecting to make the greatest thing ever right away. Like if you are, it's kind of fun actually. You can kind of see pixel art created by someone for the first time, and you can kind of see how it progresses and it keeps getting better. But yeah, that would probably be my best advice. Maybe play some games that have generally good pixel art. Now, when I say really good pixel art, I'd say games. I think Metal Slug would be a good example of really high quality, high level, very, very detailed pixel art. Go look at games like that, see how they're done, maybe grab some screenshots and kind of try and replicate it, because if you get those techniques down of getting certain textures, certain lighting effects, certain texturing, if you get those correct, I think you'd probably be doing very well with your own textures and stuff.